Today I'm putting these two cameras head to head. Specs, film, shooting experience, everything. And by the end, I'll share with you exactly which one I recommend. Hey guys, it's Shay of Bucket Photography. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel, and if you've been here before, welcome back. In simple terms, the Mini 3 is taller than the Go 3 and weighs a bit more, but the Go 3 is bulkier than the Mini 13. I think the Go 3 is more portable than the Mini 13, so I would give this category to the Go 3. The Mini 13 shoots Instax Mini film. Those are those credit card size prints, which are about 3.4 inches by 2.1 inches. The film has an ISO of 800. The Polaroid Go 3 shoots Polaroid Go film, which is slightly smaller prints at about 2.6 inches by 2.1 inches, but they do include that iconic white Polaroid border. That film has an ISO of 640. So the Mini film gives you a slightly bigger print with a higher ISO. If you don't know what ISO means, check out the video in the card above. I'll go into a bit more detail about the film a little bit later in the video. The Mini 13 uses a 2-element 60mm lens at f12.7. The Mini 13 can focus as close as 11.8 inches. The Go 3 uses a polycarbonate fixed focus lens at 63.75mm with an aperture that stops between f14.4 and f32. Now, I couldn't find the minimum focusing distance for the Go 3, but it can take selfies. The Mini 13 does have a lower f-stop, which means that it can let more light into the camera via the lens. The Mini 13 has a shutter speed ranging from half a second to 1/250th of a second, with slow synchro for low light. The Go 3 has a slightly wider range, ranging from 1 second to 1/500th of a second. The extra range on the Go 3 means it can handle slightly brighter conditions before blowing out, and slightly darker conditions before giving up. Both cameras have a flash, but they work a bit differently. The Mini 3 fires its flash every single time. You cannot turn it off. It automatically adjusts brightness and it recycles in about 7 seconds. The Go 3 on the other hand lets you toggle the flash on and off, and the Gen 3 flash is stronger than the previous Go models. For me, having that control over your flash is a big deal. Sometimes you just don't want the flash on, and the Mini 13 doesn't give you that option. The Mini 3 takes 2 AA batteries and it gets about 10 packs of film, or roughly 100 shots per new set of batteries. The Go 3 on the other hand has a built-in lithium-ion battery that charges via USB-C and gets about 15 film packs, or roughly 120 shots per charge. However, I do not think that the Go 3's rechargeable battery is actually replaceable, at least not easily. So if you have concerns about the rechargeable battery degrading, which is a valid concern, then the Mini 13 may be a better choice. If you like the convenience of not having to buy new batteries, then the Go 3 may be a better option. At the time of filming, the Mini 13 sits around $94 to $100. The Go 3 is around $90. Polaroid is also running a discount on the Go 3 for new members, which brings the Go 3 down to about $81. Similar ballpark figures, we're talking roughly a $10 difference depending on sales. Now let's move into more features, because this is where the two really start to separate. If you find this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. That really helps the channel and get this video out to more viewers. First things first, let's talk about the self-timer. Both cameras have one. The Mini 13 self-timer is one of the new things it adds over the Mini 12. It has about a 2-second or 10-second delay, plus a 2-second warning blink. The Go 3 also has a 10-second selfie timer with a blinking indicator light. Overall, these two are pretty comparable here, unless you really need a 2-second timer. Now let's talk selfies. This is where these two begin to diverge a little bit more. The Mini 13 has a dedicated close-up mode. You twist the lens burr out slightly and it shifts into a mode optimized for that 11.8 inches difference, and a small selfie mirror next to the lens. The Go 3 also has a selfie mirror too, positioned to the left of the lens, and Polaroid says the Gen 3 has a sharper, more zoomed in selfie experience with less glare than the previous models. Now, one of the main differences between these two cameras is that the Go 3 has double exposure and the Mini 13 does not. So if double exposures matter to you, and for a lot of instant photographers it does, then this might alone tip the scale in favor of the Go 3. Both the Mini 13 and Go 3 are fully automatic for exposure control. The camera decides everything. The cameras read the light and adjust the exposure. You don't have a brightness style button, nor an exposure compensation option. The Mini 13's close-up mode can be genuinely useful. It's a physical lens adjustment that optimizes for near-distance subjects, which most instant cameras can struggle with. The Go 3 has a fixed lens, so while you can shoot selfies relatively easily, you don't get the same dedicated close focus optimization, so point to the Mini 13 here. Now let's talk about the thing that actually matters the most, the film. Film selection is where I see a lot of beginners make their decision without really understanding what they're signing up for. Film is the ongoing cost. The camera is just a one-time purchase, but you'll be buying film forever, or at least as long as you have the camera. The cost of Instax Mini film depends on whether you get a single pack, a twin pack, a special border, or where you buy it from. Instax Mini film will run you about 95 cents to $1.20 per shot. The smallest pack Go film comes in a twin pack. The price may fluctuate a little bit if you order, say, a regular frame versus a special frame. Polaroid Go film will run you about $1.37 to $1.50 per shot. That can be a meaningful difference over time. If you're shooting casually, say 2 packs a month, you're spending about $19 to $24 on Instax Mini versus $22 to $24 on Polaroid Go. Over a year, that gap adds up to about $36 to $60 a year. Now that may not seem a lot over a year, but in this economy, we need to keep as much money as we can. Instax Mini film is known for consistent, slightly cool tone, sharp images with reliable color reproduction. It develops in about 90 seconds and is pretty forgiving. Polaroid Go 3 has that classic Polaroid aesthetic, warmer tones, a bit softer focus, and a more vintage look. It also takes longer to develop, about 10 to 15 minutes for full color and contrast to settle. And Polaroid film is more sensitive to temperature and light during development. Shooting in too cold of temp can give you a blue tint, shooting in too hot of a temp can give you a red or pinkish tint. Instax is just easier to get consistent results with. Instax Mini film is practically everywhere. Amazon, Walmart, drugstores, camera stores, you name it. Polaroid Go film is less widely stocked. You'll mostly find it online on like Polaroid or Amazon websites or at camera stores. So if you're the type who wants to grab film on the go, Instax Mini wins here. Alright, let's talk about what it actually feels to shoot with these cameras. The Mini 13 feels familiar if you've ever shot an instant camera. It's a bit heavier than I initially expected without feeling unruly. It feels comfortable to hold. I have giant hands, so the camera kind of rests on the top of my pinky, but it doesn't feel weird. The one thing I do dislike about this camera is the viewfinder. Compared to the Go 3, it feels much smaller. The whole thing is designed to be as simple as possible. You point, you press the shutter, the flash fires, and your photo comes out. There's no real thinking involved about the settings. The camera handles everything. That's both its strength and its limitation. Overall, the Mini 13 is the definition of a point-and-shoot instant camera. If you want a camera you can just hand to someone and say, take a photo, this is that camera. The Polaroid 3 feels different right away. It's smaller, more compact, and noticeably lighter. I will say that this camera feels better shooting two-handed, while the Instax Mini feels better shooting one-handed. You can treat the Go 3 as a point-and-shoot if you want. If you want a little bit more control, you can toggle the flash on and off with the flash button on top. You can also take double exposure shots. None of this is super complicated to do, but it does require you to think a little more actively about what you're doing while you're out shooting. The selfie mirror is larger than the one on the Mini 13, but it also has a more translucent look, so you can't see yourself as clearly. The viewfinder is offset, so you do need to compensate for parallax at close range, which just means framing your shot a little differently. However, like I mentioned, I really do enjoy the larger size of the viewfinder. It just makes it easier to see and frame your shot. Go 3 gives you a bit more creative control, but that does make it a little less like a point-and-shoot camera. Alright, so the reason you're all actually here. Which one should you buy? Now, I'm not going to say one is definitively better than the other, because that's not how this works. They're both good cameras for what they are. It's about which one fits your priorities. Get the Instax Mini 13 if you want the easiest, cheapest, and most forgiving entry into instant photography. The Mini 13 asks almost nothing of you. It meters, it exposes, it flashes, and delivers consistent results. The film is cheaper and it's more widely available. And you can hand this camera to anyone at a party and they'll be able to get a decent shot. It may also be a better choice if you take a lot of close-ups or selfies. The close-up mode can be genuinely helpful. Get the Polaroid Go 3 if you want a camera that grows with you. The Go 3 has a small learning curve if you don't want to use a flash or you want to try double exposure. You can experiment a bit more and the creative ceiling is a bit higher. I think it's also the better choice if you care about aesthetics. That classic Polaroid look, the white border, the warmer tones, it has a vibe that Instax can't quite replicate. And the USB-C charging is generally more convenient than carrying around spare AA batteries. If portability is your top priority, the Go 3 is smaller and lighter. My personal take, for me, the Go 3 is the most interesting camera. I like having control of the flash, I enjoy double exposures, and I prefer the Polaroid aesthetic. But, and this is a real but, the film cost is higher, the consistency is lower, and there's more trial and error involved. If I was buying a camera for a total beginner who just wants fun photos without thinking about settings, I'd probably point them toward the Mini 13 over the Go 3. Honestly, however, you can't go wrong with either one. It just depends on what kind of shooter you are. And that's the full breakdown, Instax Mini 13 versus the Polaroid Go 3. I hope this helped you figure out which one makes sense for your style and your budget. If you shot with either of these cameras, tell me in the comments what's been your experience. I'd love to hear from people who put some serious time into either one. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the next video where I talk about Kodak's new EC35 reusable 35mm camera. Until next time, keep practicing, keep having fun, and I'll see you in the next video.